Hey folks, welcome back to the Darren Harris Podcast, Episode 7, What the Hell Are We Eating? Why are Americans so unhealthy? The American Obesity Crisis. That's what we're going to be talking about today. Thank you for tuning back in. And also, I want to thank everybody for joining me. Like I said, this is my 7th episode, or my 7th podcast, and I just want to thank everybody who has consistently supported me and listened and comments. Please, please, please pat yourselves on the back, give yourselves a round of applause, take yourself out to dinner or whatever it is. I wish I could do it for you, but I do appreciate you guys tuning in and listening to my podcast. It means a lot to me. So, okay, what's the show breakdown? Today we're going to be talking about a wide variety of things. Anything from what we are eating, what we should be eating, what other countries are eating as opposed to what we're eating, the benefits of the things that we eat versus the negative effects of the things that we eat. So that's what we're going to be discussing, or what I'm going to be talking about today. But first, I got some things I want to get out first. I want to shout out a few people, or actually just one person. I want to shout my man Kevin Hart out, another comedian. But I want to shout Kevin Hart out for launching his new media. He has got a new media company entitled Heartbeat Media. He got a $100 million investment from private equity firm Aubrey Partners. The company Heartbeat plans to make television and film projects centered around comedy. I just want to thank him for giving a lot of younger comedians a lot of opportunity. Like, he put Tiffany Haddish on, and I think that she's a great talent. I mean, she's gotten some criticism, but I don't even look at that. That girl is funny, and they need to get off that girl back. And like I said, Kevin Hart was the one who kind of brought her to the forefront. I gave her a little bit of burn, and she took the ball and ran with it. And I'm excited because I think that this guy's media company, his new media company, will also give more opportunity to younger comics and more comics of color. So big shout out to Kevin Hart. Today's Dope Shit Award goes to Harvard University, and it's cool that what they did, because they plan to try and make amends for the role that they played in American slavery. And one time I thought I heard people talking about reparations, but I don't know if that's actually true. But I do know that they do plan to start acknowledging, and I think it's like some sort of they want to give more people of color opportunities to attend their college by making it easier by the way of grants. So big shout out and hats off and big commendation to Harvard University for standing up in it, man. There's a lot of companies that are still around from those days that we don't even think that we're like Chase Bank. Chase Bank, they was back there in them days, and they actually insured slaves. They insured slaves, but we didn't know that. People just go to Chase Bank because we see all the little blue and all that stuff, but that was back in the day. But they were there. J.P. Morgan and Chase and all them cats back, they used slave labor. They insured slaves, and it's high time that people started taking responsibility for that stuff, and I think that that's a good move forward for this country to try and resolve some of those issues that had taken place back then. So again, Dope Shit Award goes to Harvard University for planning to make amends for the roles that they played in slavery. Today's earbuds. I've been listening to this girl for a while, little bits and pieces. Some people had brought it to me, but today's earbuds is an artist. Her name is an acronym. Actually, it's H.E.R. I've been listening to H.E.R, and she is amazing. The acronym stands for, her real name is actually Gabriella Wilson, and she's from California, and the acronym stands for Having Everything Revealed, H.E.R. And she won 2021 Academy Award for Best Original Song. She also won Song of the Year, the Grammys, at that same year. This year, she won Best Traditional R&B Performance at the Grammys, and she also performed live right alongside Lenny Kravitz, which was absolutely outstanding. She is, I think she's like something like 23 or 24, and super talented, just super talented girl. She's gonna have a really, really bright future. But she doesn't have I've been listening to some of her albums, just some of her. She's only got, I think, like one studio album and a couple of collaboration albums, but she's got some other material out with some other artists, and all of her stuff is good. Her melodies are really sultry and very, very thought provoking. They invoke a lot of emotion, and it's just very, very clean, very beautiful music. So if you get an opportunity to listen to her, I would go listen to her. So that is today's earbuds. Today's strain of the week is brought to you by Leafly. I went to a new place called, I think it was called Sanctuary, something like that. But I went to a new place and I took advantage of my new patient discount. And I think it's the first, second, and the fifth visit was free. I mean, not free. It was half off. I wish it was free. It was half off. So the first, second, and fifth visits to this facility are half off. So my first time I went in and I got a strain that I had seen that they had it listed for 27.6% THC, I believe. And it was called Polyjuice. And it's light green, very, very like skunky, has a skunky scent to it, very lemony, citrusy. But it was, you knew something was there, but it didn't really feel like something was there. But you knew it was there, and it was very effective. And it kind of had the same. It was almost like a sativa that was like an indica, which was it gave you the head of a good sativa, but you did have some of the body effects that you would get from a good indica also. But I didn't notice any pain to my back. Didn't even have any of that. So I really enjoyed it, and that was the first time that I went. I enjoyed it so much that I actually went back and instead of going to another dispensary, I went back to the same dispensary and got the same strain again because it was very good. And I still have some now, and it is, like I said, it works. It works wonders. The other ones, some of the other ones have a little bit lower THC, and they have but the properties for this one are maybe a little bit better. Like there was a strain that I had accentuated one time before called Black Tuna. This is kind of reminiscent of that in the effects that you experience while you're medicated. So I would definitely, if you're able to find it, it's called Polyjuice. And it's a 20, well, at the place where I got it was at 27.6% sativa. I don't even think it was a hybrid of any sort. I just think it was a straight up sativa, which I'm not opposed to, getting a indica every now and then, because like I said, sometimes I can't sleep. I'm up late at night trying to make a beat, or I'm in here trying to, get some material for my podcast going. And sometimes I just can't go to sleep. And, I have, a couple of vape pens that have a pretty decent strain of a, indica, which will help me relax a little bit and put me to sleep. And one day, I promise, one day soon, actually, I will start with because I know I do a lot of sativa dominant strain of the weeks, but I'm going to start getting more into some of the indicas as well. I haven't really purchased many. I haven't really tried many to see what their effects are. And again, because I know, and a lot of reasons I don't get a indica is because I really don't want to lay down. I want to get things done. I want to be productive. I want to produce some music. I want to, think up content for my podcast. I want to bake. I want to go out and take pictures. I want to shoot some film. I want to do a lot of different things. And a lot of times the indicas have, their main property is to just lay you out. And I just don't want to experience that all the time. So, but I will in the future here shortly. Well, in the near future, start detailing some of these indicas that I run across, because some of them are actually very, very good, and they do have really good properties. So, again, the strain of the week is Polyjuice, and it is highly recommended. And I got it at a place called Sanctuary Medicinal. So, if you're able to find it, cop it. Okay. All right, folks, what is popping today? What is popping today? You know what's popping? What we're eating. That's what's popping. It's been popping a lot. And I'll tell you, me and my wife, we've been actually doing really well as far as what we've been eating lately, because I'll tell you what, in the past month, my body has been on the shit we gonna eat for the last time tour. I hate to say goodbye to fried chicken, man. I really hate it. I don't really want to see cheese go out like that, but it's getting to the point where I just can't eat shit like that no more. I can't. I mean, I used to be able to go into like a Sonny's barbecue, like an all-you-can-eat barbecue, and sit down and eat until I couldn't stand up, and then wait 20, 30 minutes and eat some more, man. And all the meanwhile, I'm in here, just killing myself and just, doing my body badly. So those days are coming to a close because my body is like, yeah, bro, we done with that shit, bro. I mean, anything. I could go into any restaurant, and if I even look at a piece of cheesecake, my stomach is like, oh, yeah, you looking at cheesecake? How about if you look again, I'm going to shit all over the fucking floor. So I try to steer clear of all that stuff now. So, if I want a piece of dessert, I'll come home and I'll make myself a little piece of something, a piece of dessert, So I really don't. I'm very, very picky about the things that I eat out now because a lot of it is just not good for you. So today we are going to be talking about what are we eating? And you know what America eats a lot of? We are eating a lot of processed food. We eat a lot of processed food. We eat a lot of stuff from the middle aisles of the grocery store, and a lot of that stuff is straight processed. I mean, look at the labels. Look at the labels. Look at the back of the labels. I mean, how much of the stuff can you pronounce? Get a can of Chef Boyardee. Look at it. I don't want to shout shout it out like that, but look at look at the back of a pack of ramen noodles. Look at some of this stuff, even the stuff that you think in the middle of the aisle that you think is healthy, like these granola bars. Look at the fat content. Look at some of the stuff that they use to preserve these things to have them sit on the shelf. How long do you think some of this shit is sitting on the shelf? Some of this shit is sitting up there. I've been in grocery stores. I've picked up shit, and the top of the box is covered with dust. I'm like, holy shit, how long has this been sitting in here? But we roll by it. No, we see it advertised and it says that it does this or it's just delicious or whatever it is. And we pick it up. We don't think about it. We go home, we eat it, and we don't know or even figure out what it does to our body. We don't know. We just eat it. We don't even care, And as of lately, because I'm older, I'm starting to really care about what it is that I'm eating. You know what I'm saying? I used to be, I was a McDonald's maniac for a long time. I ate a lot of McDonald's. There was one time in my life, my claim to fame was I could sit at one sitting and either eat 9 cheeseburgers or I could eat 4 Big Macs in one sitting. And with the fries, large supersized fries back when they were doing supersize, and a supersized milkshake and a Coke or soft drink of, my choice at that time. But I would eat the whole thing. And I would get up and like I was some sort of big shot, and then I'd go home and my body later on, when I was young, it really didn't affect me too much. I didn't really think too much about it. But as I got older, I started like, wow, man, it's just, and then I saw Supersize Me and it put a lot of things into perspective for me. Now, I will always love McDonald's fries and something about a McDonald's cheeseburger that just, that's just captivates me. But I have not been to McDonald's in over a year, and that's because now my body, anything from there, it just doesn't appeal to me. It just doesn't. I am making better decisions as far as the food that I'm choosing at the grocery stores. I'm choosing to refrain from a lot of sweets, even though I'm a baker. And I do have some things in the house that I used to bake, like there's some sugar, there's some butter, there's a few things in here, but I don't bake very frequently. And if I do need to bake, I buy very small portions of the things that I need, so I don't have a lot of this excess, and I'm tempted to eat it. So I don't keep a lot of stuff around. So if I'm going to bake something and I use heavy cream, I buy the smallest portion of heavy cream that I can buy, and most of the time, it's perfect, and I don't have anything left over to store or put away or revisit in the kitchen at 3:00 in the morning when I'm bored, sitting up trying to make content or play a game or whatever it is I'm doing. So I try and steer clear of that. So what do you do? What do you do? Do you eat fast food? Do you continue? Is there any healthy fast food? Well, I'm gonna tell you what. There's the problem with the fast food the problem with the fast food is they are still, although they put all the little calorie count things, they don't have a lot of healthier options. Now, every place has a healthy option, maybe two healthy options, but they don't have a wide variety of healthy options. You know what I'm saying? For people to choose. With you go in and get a Big Mac meal. Okay, you got a Big Mac meal, but there's not a side salad, or maybe there is a side salad, but people don't think to get it. The parfait is good for you, but it's putting pounds on your hips. It's just not good for you. You know what I'm saying? They're still the fast food restaurants. They're still at the forefront of the obesity epidemic. They're still there, even though they provide the information that you need to help you make decisions. And that's part of it, is we don't make good decisions. But the other part of it is they don't really spend the effort that they spend advertising the rest of their products. Like the Impossible Whopper came out not too long ago. Now, I had it. I kind of actually enjoyed it. It's kind of cool. But you only see a few advertisements for it. It's not really heavily pushed. It's not really, it doesn't, they don't really, they don't list any benefits, or, they don't try to get you on the bandwagon as far as healthy eating, but they are really quick to push the Impossible Whopper, or not the Impossible Whopper, but the Angry Whopper, and the bacon, the big bacon, the bacon Whopper. And Wendy's has a Baconator. It is a sandwich made of bacon. It is delicious, but it is fucking killing you. It really is, but it's great. It's great, and that's how we justify it. That's how we justify it, and we always lie to ourselves too, don't we? We always say, "Oh yeah, I can eat this Baconator, and then I'm gonna go and hit the gym, or I'm gonna go and work out or walk around the block." And what do? We just ate a Baconator, a bunch of fries, and a Wendy's Frosty, and we sat down in front of the couch and we turned on crime TV, and we sat there, and all of a sudden it's 3:00 in the morning. We sitting there sleeping. Which is, so many of us do it. 50% of our country is obese. That's wild. It's everybody. I went to a plant festival with my wife last week, and we went to a plant festival, just a festival, like a garden festival. And it was actually very cool, actually. There was a lot of cool plants that we picked up, some to bring home and put on the balcony. But the thing that I noticed that I was walking around is that every other person was obese. Literally every other person. And at one point I was looking around, and the majority of the people that I was looking at that were in my eyesight, they were obese. The children, older people my age, people younger than me, 22, 23 years old, obese. Crazy. Just not good. It seems like something's wrong. It really does. It looks like something is wrong with our country. It looks like something is wrong. There's a lot. And the reason it looks that way is because there are things that are wrong. We make poor food choices. We're lazy. Fast food is the easiest thing for us to get. Some of us aren't lazy. Some of us work our fucking asses off, but we're tired when we get home because we've worked so long. We have kids. The quickest thing to do is stop by and pick up a bucket of chicken from Popeyes, and take it straight to the house. And it's easy. Everybody's happy. We sit down. I get to watch, Sports Center or whatever. But it's not good for us. It's not good for any of us. I don't know if anybody realized this, but I was doing some research, and do you know that eating fried chicken, it's one of my favorite things, man. I love fried chicken. Love it. But fried chicken is linked to a 13% increase. Eating fried chicken one time a week is linked to a 13% increase of premature death. No bullshit. No bullshit. But you could tell people that shit every day, and they don't care. They don't care. They still order it. I'm guilty. Because it's fucking delicious. But as of lately, these past couple of months, 2-3 months, I've wanted it. I've definitely wanted some fried chicken. I've wanted to make fried chicken. I make great fried chicken. But I've refrained. I've even, let me rephrase that. I've even refrained to a degree where I'm not buying chicken. I'm just not buying it. We're not buying a lot of red meat anymore. Now, I did buy some ground beef so I could make, my wife some tacos because she was craving tacos. But, man, I don't know when the last time I bought, ground beef was, other than the other day. We don't buy pork. We used to eat bacon. We don't eat bacon anymore. I used to eat a bacon cheeseburger. I used to eat really, let me stop you there. I used to eat a cheeseburger 3 times a day. That was my diet. I ate a cheeseburger from this place, maybe a McDonald's cheeseburger for lunch, 2 or 3 of them. And then I would go and eat a cheeseburger at night where I worked at because I was a food and beverage manager. And the only thing that was quick, fast, and handheld was a burger. And I eat those every day, 3 times a day. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner, eating a burger of some sort. I don't do that remotely close because my body has changed, and it's let me know that these things are really not good for you, and they're hurting you, like severely hurting you. And now, unless I have to eat early in the day, but I can't eat a cheeseburger at night because I get the worst heartburn in the world, and it feels like a rock in the bottom of my stomach, and I just don't have the energy. It doesn't give me the energy that I need to produce at a high level or to get myself going at a higher level. It just doesn't give it to me. Yeah, it gives me some protein, but other things give me protein also. There's lots of things that give you protein, not just red meat. But there's an argument made for, you got to have red meat in your diet. Yeah, I really don't think you do. I think we want it in our diets because, let's face it, it's fucking delicious. There's nothing, and don't get me wrong, I love it. I love steak. I love it. I will eat steak so gingerly. I love it, but I can't eat it anymore. Like I said, my body's on this tour of shit that I'm just not willing to make that sacrifice anymore. I don't want to feel bad. I want to live longer. Clinically proven that this shit is killing people. I want to live longer. I got a new wife. I got kids. I got a large family. We have family reunions. We do a bunch of cool shit. I got a lot of great friends. I want to be around for that. You know what I'm saying? I want to be around for that. And if, we keep eating the way that we're eating, we're not. A lot of people are killing themselves. You see people like you never thought would drop. Man, that guy was 50 years old, man. He had a heart attack, man. Why? Because he ate a cheeseburger 3 times a day. I was fortunate to have a fast metabolism where I was able to burn these things off and, use these things effectively. But even my metabolism, I'm 51, about to be 52 now. I got some love handles that they look like they need to take a fucking hike, or I need to take a hike or something. I'm about to, like I said, I'm making better decisions as far as my body is concerned. Longevity. That's what it comes down to. My father is, and both my parents, they look incredibly young for their age. No disrespect to either one of my parents, but they look incredibly young, and it's because my father was an athletic director, but he was always conscious of eating good meals. But they're both from the South, so they were accustomed to eating bacon and biscuits and pancakes and all these things for breakfast, and for dinner we were eating macaroni and cheese and ham hocks with fatback, and it was delicious, but it was killing us, and it still is, and we still eat it. But there are things that we can eat in those genres, like soul food, for instance. You could eat collard greens. Collard greens are great. I wouldn't put a ham hock in it, but you can't do that. You got to either put neck bones and ham hock in that. Do you? Or is it something that we've just become accustomed to? You know what I'm saying? We can learn. We can relearn. You know what I'm saying? Watch out for healthy food, too. It's the people that say health food. Watch out for that shit. Watch out for health food, quote unquote health food. Watch out for health food, because some of these boxes of health food are culprits themselves. They're just loaded with preservatives. So be careful. Read your labels. Read the labels of the stuff that you're putting in your mouth. Dead ass. Most of the shit we eat is trash anyway. Most of the shit that's out here in the grocery stores is trash for us anyway. You know what I'm saying? There's all kind of shit in it, like not only preservatives, but we got parasites. And really, honestly, who really knows what's in the food? Who really knows what they're putting in our food? You know what I'm saying? Who really knows that? It's crazy. Well, why won't fast food change, man? Well, I'll tell you what, why fast food won't change. Because it affects profitability. And also it's kind of expensive to produce healthy food. And also, like, it's a little bit more expensive for a restaurant to produce that on an consistent, ongoing basis, because the shelf life of a lot of healthy food is very short. Like the shelf life of any cut fruit is 24 hours. So you got 24 hours to use it. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of waste is tied to it. So that's why they cut down a lot on the healthier items, or that's my opinion, in my experience also, is because produce just doesn't hold up well. Not for days and days and days and days at a time. You can't eat a salad 3 days later. You know what I'm saying? So, there's all kinds of food out here killing, not just fast food. Some full service restaurants also. I'm sure that you guys have seen this new phenomena. I used to work for one of these places, this juicy seafood restaurants. A lot of these juicy seafood, quote unquote, juicy seafood. Really what it should be called is oily seafood, and it's killing you. It's bullshit. It's killing you. And it's killing you because you're letting it. And that's the truth. Listen to that again. Juicy seafood is killing you, and it's killing you because you are letting it. Now, I know you've seen it. It's a massive influx of these Cajun juicy seafood restaurants. The general consensus is the food is delicious, but I'm going to tell you why it's not. Okay? For one, right? For one, anybody who says, oh yeah, I want to get one of these little bags with a little garlic butter. First of all, that shit ain't butter. It's oil. It's butter flavored oil. It's butter flavored oil. You are literally drinking down. You might as well just get a glass. And you are drinking down butter flavored oil. That's it. Also, it's extremely high in sodium, because that's where the flavor is, right? A whole bunch of these lemon pepper, garlic pepper. There's all kinds of seasoning, sodium-based seasonings, so it masks the flavor of actual oil. It's terrible in there. It is terrible in there. You're literally sucking it off your fingers. Oil right down your throat. There are little to no healthy options on the menus at these places. There's a little salad, but we all know people don't fucking go to them places for salad. They go to that shit for that juicy ass seafood crab shit y'all got. Oh yeah, and can I get a little bit of extra garlic butter? Yeah. And you eat it, and people come here and they order the sauce to go. They order oil and salt to go, to put on other food, to slather it on other food. It's crazy, and it's putting pounds and pounds and pounds. And it's weighing down your heart. It's giving you high blood pressure, hypertension, diabetes. All kinds of shit. Visceral fat around your belly. That shit is linked to Alzheimer's disease, but we keep eating that shit, man. A lot of times these places also, they got poor food quality. I have literally watched this happen, okay? And if I'm lying, may the Lord himself come down here and slap the shit out of me and then strike me with lightning. Now, I've watched this happen. I've watched, because they think it's expensive. And it is. It's expensive to run a seafood restaurant. I mean, as a restaurant manager, it is expensive to run a seafood. I've watched these people where somebody has had something on their table that they did not enjoy. They bring this back and they rinse this stuff off and they reserve it. And that is one of the reasons I just refuse to continue to work at these places, because it was either their way or the highway, and I didn't own the joint, but I'm not going to sit here and participate in that. And I'm going to tell you what, one of the major problems is a lot of these places, look at the clientele. The majority of them are black people. A lot of it is black people. A lot of these places are in black neighborhoods. They target black people. Why? Because they know we love it. We love it. They love it. They don't even eat it. They just come to our neighborhoods and serve it. And we eat it up like crazy. We drink it down. Drink it down. Wipe our mouths. More and more and more of it. Drink it down. It's like a fucking trough. It's disgusting. It's disgraceful. And we don't give a fuck. I've sat there as the manager. I've told these people as the manager, it's killing us. You know what I'm saying? It's killing us. It's bad for you. The people here that own the place, they don't even eat the food. I've said this to people. And you know what they tell me? Yeah, man, I hear what you saying, man. I hear you, bro. Yo, for real, that's real what you saying. But, man, this shit is wonderful, man. This shit is good. And that's it. Period. Point blank. That shit is good. Overrides everything. It overrides your heart disease that you're going to get. It's going to override your medical bills you're going to have to pay in the future. That shit is good. Overrides all kinds of shit, man. We need to stand up and have a little bit more willpower. We really do. We don't. We don't. We need to come together on this and figure out that it's not good for our community, for one, but it's not good for anybody, for two. And people are always going to go to these things. People are always going to go to these things. But we need to learn to start making better decisions about the food that we eat. Now, if you like this shit, cool. You know what I mean? It is what it is. Me personally, it smells good. I'll never put it in my mouth. You know what I'm saying? I had one crab leg one time, and all it tasted was oil, salt, and it was hot, and I just didn't enjoy it. Now, some people love it. They swear by it. You know what I mean? I ain't got, it is what it is. But just know, it's killing you, and you're letting it. So a lot of people are like, oh, well, you down on food, you down on this, you down on that. Well, what the fuck should we eat then, Darren? You so damn smart. You know what I would eat, man? I mean, what I've been eating, me personally, I went to Sam's Club. We went to Sam's Club for our wedding. I was going to make sangria, right? And I bought a whole bunch of fruit. And some of the fruit got used, but I actually ate some of it. And pears are like the new hot shit in my life. I just love pears all of a sudden again. They are just, I bit into this pear and it was better than any dessert that I could have had. It was fresh. It didn't weigh me down. It gave me energy. It made me euphoric. It put me in a good mood. So many things that just biting this one pear. I ate the one and it was so good. I ate it and then I ate another one behind that. And then I ate another one right behind that. Like I was a crackhead for these pears all of a sudden. And it's been like that. You know what I'm saying? We had salad. I've been eating salad, and just straight up romaine lettuce, maybe some field greens, some arugula, a little bit of dressing, not a whole lot, because, dressings would be bad for you too, but maybe a little bit. But I try and eat stuff that I know is going to give my body the energy I need to go out and be functional, the energy I need to go out and be vital, that I need to go hang out with my son or keep up with my wife, or whatever it is I want to do. I want to go out and play basketball today. Eating a cheeseburger ain't going to let me do that. It's going to let me go home and lay the fuck down. You know what I'm saying? But it's not going to let me, go out and play a game of basketball with 18-year-olds, But a salad, man, I'll tell you what. I play a salad, eat a salad and go out and play a game or two. A lot of the food we eat causes inflammation. That's why we have aches and pains. Inflammation, acid in your body. That's what aches and pains are. Acid. For those who don't know about acid and alkaline, acid goes to the weakest parts of your body and it makes it weaker. It deteriorates anything. So if you got a weak liver, anything, your stress, trauma, anything creates acid in your body, and it takes 7 parts of alkalinity to diminish 1 part of acid. So it's harder to stay alkaline, and that's why people can't lose weight, all kinds of stuff. And by the way, this information that I just gave you is from a program called Get the Edge by the motivational speaker Tony Robbins, which I wholeheartedly get you to encourage anybody to get the whole program and listen to it, because so many principles that I talk about are based from this particular program. So It's called Get the Edge. It's by Tony Robbins, but it's the information I gave you was from his tape about your mind and body and how to maximize your mind and body. And there's so much profound information that I highly, highly, highly recommend that you go and listen to it. It's called Get the Edge. You can find it on YouTube. It's on, I'm sure it's on everything. It's an older program, so but it has very, very profound information about health and what we're eating and putting in our bodies. So I would say that we should know where our food comes from. What should we eat? Back to that. Know where your food comes from. That's what you should eat. We try to go to farmers markets. We try to go to farmers markets, and that way I see this guy right here. He's got dirt under his nails because he's got a farm. I'm buying that cabbage from that dude right there. I'm buying that. You know what I'm saying? Because at least I know this guy grew this cabbage at his house out here in the middle of, the woods or the middle of the country or whatever it is, out here on his farm. So I try and support people like that also. A lot of these big box stores are going to make their money, and sometimes the produce isn't. It's just been sitting there. Like I know sometimes the produce looks like a little bit better at certain places at times, than other places. So I try and stay with places where I think the produce is going to be fresher. So I get from eating healthy and eat is expensive. Eating that way is expensive. It's expensive if you make it, because a friend of mine put it really, really simply to me a little while ago. He said a potato at Walmart is the same potato that's at Publix, is the same potato that's at Fresh Market, is the same potato that's at the Winn-Dixie. And he's right. It just depends on our choice, what we're willing. I know that I like to go to Publix supermarket. I go to Publix supermarket because shopping at Publix is a pleasure. It really, really is. I enjoy it. I don't mind paying a few cents extra for, a few things, but it can get to be a little expensive if your entire diet is mainly, is a lot of healthier food. And also it gets expensive because people don't eat it. You don't eat it. You buy it. It sits in your refrigerator. You throw it out because it goes bad because you don't eat it, and that costs money. You know what I'm saying? So you just have to get into the habit of eating the food that you buy. Now, I'm from New York. My wife is from Chicago. Now, as for a long time, I used to eat. The way I ate was every day. If I wanted to cook something, I went to the grocery store every day. I went to get the produce I was going to eat that night. I went to get whatever meat I was going to eat. I went to get it that day. I went and got it that day, and I would come home. I would cook it. There was not a lot of mess. I didn't have a lot of stuff in my refrigerator, and that's the way I lived for a long time, and I was very healthy. I was able to go out and do the things, and I was eating crazy at times, but I've always liked vegetables, so I've always eaten a lot of vegetables. So in that, I will say I kind of had a leg up on a few people because I know a lot of people who don't eat vegetables at all. You know what I'm saying? I know people don't feed vegetables to their kids, and that's bad. But I've always liked vegetables, so it wasn't really easy. It was easy for me to kind of, if I wanted to, drink tomato juice, I could drink that. People are like, I could never drink tomato juice. Well, I think it's fucking delicious, and it had a lot of sodium in it. But for a while, I thought it was healthy because I was getting some vitamins, and because my father was a coach, and I was trying to be healthy, and blah 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 blah. So for a long time, I was trying to eat healthy, but I would, lapse and go eat at Sonny's Barbecue, or lapse and go eat at, Super Chinese Food Buffet or whatever it is, and. But I would never pick up any weight. But it didn't mean that I wasn't doing any damage to my body, because I was internally, and it materialized in other ailments. It just wasn't like obesity and things like that. It was like shit like ADHD and shit like that. That shit is based on the fucking food you eat. Yeah, man. Recognize for real. That shit is real. You know what I'm saying? Definitely. What you eat is connected to your mood and all kinds of stuff, man. So it is very important, what we put in our bodies. So I know also in a lot of urban neighborhoods, there's not a lot of opportunity to eat healthy because some of these healthier outlets like a Whole Foods or a Fresh Market, they just don't come to the hood. Why not? And it's, the reason is kind of obvious. People, they don't want to, lose stuff in the hood. You know what I mean? They don't. But the thing about it is I think that there should be more of a push to have stores like this because it is good food. It's food that is needed by all in order to survive, and live a healthy and right life. Is it expensive in Whole Foods? Damn right it's expensive in Whole Foods. Call a whole fucking check, because it is. A lot of times it's your whole check. You go in there and buy 3 items, it's $48. You know what I'm saying? But you can go in Whole Foods, get healthy food, and still come out at a reasonable price and be okay, and go home and be able to eat healthy and live more vitally. You're able to do that. You know what I'm saying? You're able to do that. But we have to have access to it. And to have access to it, it needs to be brought to our neighborhoods. So we need to figure out ways to bring more urban or black and brown neighborhoods closer to things like this. Lobby to have this stuff done or whatever it is so that we have better food, because, on the white side of town, I hate to say it, but they eat better food than we do. You know what I'm saying? They get better food than we do. I witnessed this firsthand by going out to the Hamptons. I was fortunate to be able to work out there for a few summers, and I have some friends out there, so I've eaten out there quite a bit. I've eaten a lot of high-end food out there, and it ain't like the food everybody else eats. It just ain't. This shit is fucking beautiful. Everything out there, the lobsters, all the way down to the fruits and vegetables, this shit is beautiful. It's just better food. You know what I'm saying? I want some of that food. I want that type of food should be everywhere, and that care that they have for that type of food, that also should be everywhere, because everybody does not have that care. You know what I'm saying? So, I also want to say this, in closing, I really would like to say this. Everybody is human. It's not going to be an overnight thing where you're just going to be like, you know what, fuck this, I'm not eating this way anymore, and da-da-da-da-da. Everybody is human. It's going to take some time. But if you stay diligent in your mind and you keep the things in the forefront of your mind, which is your health, your family, your prosperity in the front of your mind, it'll be easier to make decisions. You know what I'm saying? It'll be easier to make decisions. And I hope that listening to this podcast and, will help you guys, make better decisions in the grocery store, because I'm starting to. Just because I'm starting to be more conscious about it. I'm starting to care about it more. And I hope that everybody here can start caring about it a little more. Like all the people going to sit down at Juicy Seafood, maybe y'all don't go sit down at Juicy Seafood this week. Maybe 1 week you give it a break, at least it's a place to start. So that's all I got to say about that. And that's today's what's popping today. So all right, on to relationship goals. Last week on relationship goals, my goal was to start working out and doing more healthy things with my wife, which actually it was great because it kind of coupled up with us, kind of making a little bit more of a tweak and a switch to our diet. And man, I'll tell you what, I lost 3 fucking pounds. God damn it, that's right. I lost 3 pounds out here walking around like a fool trying to get in, and it's got me motivated. It really does. It's got me motivated. So, we've started setting our alarms, and sometimes we get up early, and sometimes if I see her down here doing yoga, Pilates on the floor, I just get down here with her. Do a little bit of yoga, Pilates, and kind of stretch out. And it's just gotten to be more and more and more and more frequent. And now, as a direct result, like back in the 80s, I was a break dancer. Now I'm starting to, break dance again. I'm having a little bit more flexibility, a little bit more mobility. Some of the pain in my back has gone away. Just being healthier, trying to live a bit more healthy of a lifestyle, which has, definitely benefited me. I'm happy about it. And also that's a big goal. That's something that we do together. That's something, one more thing that we actually are able to do together, and that we actually enjoy each other's company. So, now we do give each other our space, but we do enjoy each other's company. And this is one thing that not only benefits our bodies, but also benefits us spiritually. It benefits us mentally, and it also brings us closer together in our marriage. So I look forward to continuing to being active with my wife and achieving our fitness goals. So that was last week's results and this week's goals. Now, before I give you this week's goals, I'm going to give you a little bit of a backstory. Last week we had a little bit of a falling out, but, couples do. We fall out, you know what I'm saying? And, we sat down, we, had a bit of a tiff, it was pretty serious at times. And, I had to step out for a little bit just to kind of, clear my head and get, we had to, separate and get some time to ourselves, just to kind of, to see if we could get back and meet back in the middle on some things, which, we were able to. So, God bless that. And thank the Lord for that. But but it made me start thinking about some different things, some different goals and things I wanted to do for myself, not just for my relationship, but also for myself, like my own self-care. And one of these things is to stop taking things so personally. I take a lot of things personally. And one of the things I want to focus on now is taking things less personally. You know what I'm saying? Just because she does certain things doesn't necessarily mean that it is malicious in nature. Maybe she doesn't know, you know what I mean? Maybe she's trying to do something to help her. I don't know, but the thing I need to do for myself is I need to stop taking things so personally, because when you have so many rules, and this is another thing, when you have a lot of rules, this is another thing from the Anthony Robbins program, which is true. When you have a lot of rules, you're always in reaction. You're always mad about something. When you have all these rules or things, that can make you upset. You have all these things, you need to not have so many things, kind of narrow it down, kind of let some of the water go under the bridge a little bit, so to speak. Now, some things that you got to address, definitely you have to address them. You need to sit down as adults and learn to sit down as adults and address them as adults. Be forthcoming with information. You should be forthcoming with information. That's real shit. Don't hold shit in, especially if you are married. Don't hold it in. If you got a problem, tell your partner. A lot of times they don't know they fucking doing it, and you're mad at them anyway. They don't know. Let them know. At least y'all can meet in the middle on something. And a lot of shit that you fight about, you'd be surprised that you're able to talk about it, because some people may not be privy to the information, or there might be a misunderstanding or miscommunication. There's a lot of stuff, man. So it is very important to break yourself down. Take 15 seconds, breathe deep, and still communicate. Try and communicate without arguing or angst. Go over just the facts. Don't dig in the past for shit. If you get by something, you got by it, get the fuck by it. You know what I'm saying? Don't bring it up. Discuss what's going on in this moment. You know what I'm saying? And it'll be a lot easier of a go for you. At least that's what I believe. At least that's how I interpret it. Don't be afraid to apologize. Don't be afraid to humble yourself. Don't be afraid to grab your partner and say, hey, listen, let's have a couple minutes and sit down and talk, not fight. You know what I'm saying? Have some compassion. Try and put yourself in your partner's shoes. You know what I'm saying? Try and do that shit. And if you do that shit, I guarantee you, your relationship will last forever. It really will. So, well, folks, I think that's the podcast for the day. I think I've covered everything that I want to cover. Actually, I really didn't. There's so much more, but that's another podcast. So, thank you for joining me for this episode of the Darren Harris Podcast. Again, I thank you. I'd like to thank my producer, my best friend, my wife, of course, the Lord Jesus Christ, my parents, my kids, everybody involved. You, of course. Thank you very much. If you want to follow me, you can follow me on DarrenHarris.com. Well, you can log on to DarrenHarris.com, which is my website. You can follow me on any of the social media platforms. My name is DERON. Last name is Harris, HARRIS. My middle initial is T. If you want my middle name, it's Tere. Yeah, check me out, man. I really, really enjoyed this podcast. I really enjoy you all. Thank you very much for tuning in, and see you next week.